Yep. And then if we extend it all the way to, say, recommending supplements and other types of changes on that front in terms of saying, oh, we think you'll do better if you take like curcumin and CoQ10, or we think you should take this type of product, like you just need a multivitamin, these types of things.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I think that the individual level food recommendations look real. There are some relatively good markers for like levels of different vitamins and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you might as well just take a multivitamin. I mean, and then then it's also kind of been shown that multivitamins don't do anything for long-term health. They have like no impact at all. So again, I think there's like some functional validity there, but whether or not it actually has any like health utility itself is questionable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so your opinions come through pretty strong in terms of like it's nice, it's interesting, it could be real, but it's not really proven. What's the recommendation that claims can companies make based on these data? So this is going from the what it is to the what they can say side of things.
So I think on the nutrition side of things, they can probably say anything as long as they don't connect it to a disease risk. I think they can say anything that they want, essentially. Short of like false advertising and that sort of thing. But I think they can get away with saying, given that the testing to be functionally valid, I think they can get away with saying that things like you're prone to lower levels of metabolite X, you should take this sort of thing to normalize your levels, etc. Those kinds of statements you could make. But I don't think they can extend it to, and if you do this, it'll reduce your long-term risk for type 2 diabetes. I don't think they can make those types of statements. And then on the genetic risk side of things, though, I do think they can make those sorts of statements, like you're at elevated risk for coronary artery disease or that sort of thing based on genetic factors. I do think they can make those types of statements. Whether or not they need FDA approval to make those types of statements is a little bit unclear to me, since FDA is kind of letting 23andMe return some direct-to-consumer genetic results now. So it kind of seems like the door is opening for making these kinds of medical advice type statements again based on direct-to-consumer genetic testing. But I don't know. It's unclear how far the FDA will let them go with those sorts of statements. But the things that they're doing right now are like BRCA mutations. It's back to the rare pathogenic variants again that they're returning, and those are very confidently associated with the conditions that they're reporting on. So it seems fair that they can make these types of statements. Once you get into the polygenic risk side of things again, it becomes a little bit more hazy, because now it's just like elevated risk for a group of people who are at risk. It doesn't necessarily mean that you as an individual are definitely at high risk for coronary artery disease. So, I think it's a bit of a gray area.
Excellent. And moving on to more kind of specific companies. So your thought on the kind of product technology prospects of pathway genomics. Can you give me any insight on them?
On the what technology?
So kind of the product, the technology, kind of the prospects of like what's your opinion on pathway genomics, the company?
Gotcha. Very good marketing. They do have some. They have some tests, some kind of clinically valid tests, like their BRCA tests and those kinds of things that are solid. They do very good marketing for like their more fitness-oriented tests, like the pathway